Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, or if you are new, welcome. I am so excited that you decided to join me today to go through all of the pens and inks that I'm going to be using in the month of March. Now typically I do only ink up 5 pens at a time, which for me is manageable, but I actually have more this month. So I love me a good theme, and I thought doing sort of a rainbow palette for March would make a lot of sense. And in order to make that a little bit more palatable, I did carry over some of my ink and pen choices from February. February was a really rough month for me as far as utilizing any of my pens and inks and planners and the whole thing. If you saw my plan with me for March, then you will have seen all of the blank pages in my Hobonichi planner. So I do have some carryovers. Also, the inks and pens that I chose just overall didn't work out for me as well as I would have liked. So we're just going to pivot and we're going to roll with it. So the first pen that we have is a carryover from the month of February, and this is my Esterbrook Esty, and it is the one that was done in collaboration with the Coffee Monsters Co. And I do have it in a fine point, and I love this pen so much. It is such a joy to write with, and it honestly just makes me so happy every single time I pull it out and look at it and use it. So I am very happy to be pulling it over with me, and it does have a red ink in it. So this is currently inked up with wearingeul's The Young King. So this is a shimmery red, which worked really well for February if I had actually used it. But I am happy to be continuing it over. So let me give you a swatch of what this looks like. So I'm just going to put a couple of little dots, try to make sure I remember to give myself room to be able to write, because I've blocked this out and it is definitely not something that I have a lot of space to play around with. So here we have The Young King. All right, so there we have my Esterbrook Esty with wearingeul's The Young King. Now for my orange selection, we're going kind of crazy. We are actually going to go with a sheening ink. This is the Diamine Grotto, and this is from their, I believe, 2024 Inkvent calendar. And I have decided to ink that up in this pen right here. This is a Hongdian, and I don't remember which model it is, but it has these really pretty daisies on there, and it does have a fine nib on it. And I think I've used this one other time that I can think of, and I really enjoyed it. But especially since we're going into spring, I thought that this would be an absolutely lovely addition to the lineup. And I am not, to be honest with you, the biggest fan when it comes to sheening inks. They look really cool, but they do tend to take over quite a bit, and I don't always love that. It also makes me nervous when they don't completely dry and they stay kind of a little bit tacky and smudgy. That's something that always makes me nervous. But I did a test with this, and it didn't seem like it was too bad with this particular sheening ink. So fingers crossed that it doesn't leave a mess in my planner, because I think that's my biggest concern when we're talking about inks that aren't going to dry completely or that could be smeary and smudgy. I don't want them transferring to the next page or kind of being a problem for other writing that I'll be doing. So we'll see, but I'm hopeful. I'm very, very hopeful. All right, so there we have my Hongdian daisy pen with a fine nib and diamine grotto. All right, for my yellow offering, I have this little sample right here. And now that the winners from the Colorverse Colorvent 2025 have been announced, I can finally give myself permission to use some of these samples, and especially this one, which is Follow the Water. And it was one of the winners. And I'm so glad that it won because A, it is an absolutely beautiful ink. It is a yellow-based ink that has kind of blue-green shimmer to it. It's really, really special and really, really interesting. And I feared that if it didn't win, that I was going to never give myself permission to use this ink because I would have been so afraid to quote unquote waste it, which is stupid. It is so silly. Like, I have to get over this idea of waiting until the perfect opportunity or the perfect event or reason to use some of my things, and not just my stationery things, like my things in general. But the fact that it won made it a lot easier for me to give myself that permission, because if I run out, which let's be honest, like I'm ever going to run out, I have every intention of buying the full size so that I have it. Now, the pen that I've inked this up in is in one of my benus. This is Benu Wolf Point, and I believe it was an Atlas exclusive. I really adore this pen, and it does also have a fine nib on it. I really enjoy benus. I think they are so lovely and they are so just nice in the hand. They write so beautifully. I just never have anything negative to say about my benus. I currently own 3, and I'm trying to prevent myself from just buying all of them because A, I don't have the money for that, but also I don't want just a collection of collections, if that makes sense. But I do really very much love this pen. And this is Follow the Water. There we go. There we have it. My Benu Wolf Point with a fine nib and colorverse Follow the Water. All right, now we're starting to go off the rails a little bit because I wanted all green, because green is honestly one of my very favorite colors like ever. As you can see, my gorgeous green nails that I just got done, I am so happy with how they came out. But anyway, green is one of my very favorite colors, and any excuse to use green, I'm down for it. So I actually have 2 greens that we're going to be using. And the first one is Wishing Tree from Diamine. And I do have that inked up in one of my asvine pens. This is an asvine P20. So it is a piston filler, and it has, I'm pretty sure it has an extra fine nib on it. Yes. So this is an extra fine from asvine, and I have really, really loved this pen for a while now. I'm pretty sure it's meant to simulate a Leonardo pen, and I think it's beautiful. I really do. So let's go ahead and get that going. Now, Diamine Wishing Tree is not, at least in writing, it's not a brilliant green. And that's why I gave myself permission to have a couple of greens in this lineup, because it is really, really stunning. But it's kind of a grayish khaki green. However, it does have shimmer in it, which y'all know me by now. I am a shimmer lover. I am a glitter girl through and through. And the glitter in Wishing Tree is a brighter green glitter. And so I think it's going to be just a really nice kind of addition to work with. I've never had Wishing Tree in a pen, so this was a great excuse to be utilizing some of the inks that I really do enjoy from the swatch and actually using them in a pen. So again, this is an asvine P20, and it is in an extra fine nib. And then this is diamine wishing tree. And as you can see, it is, even though it is an extra fine, it doesn't write significantly finer than my other fine nibs that you see here. So if you are nervous about which nib to choose when going with asvine, I would say both fine and extra fine perform in very similar ways, at least based on my limited experience. All right, now for my brighter green, I decided to go with another Vinta ink. Now, I did use a Vinta ink in February, and I'll be honest, I didn't have the best experience with it. And I don't know if it was the pen or what, but I did find that it was clogging a bit. So we are going to try a different color. This is Vinta Sailfin Green, and I have put that into my platinum. I think this is it a Plazar? I'm not 100% sure I'm remembering that correctly. Now, I do have it in a fine nib, and I don't know if you can see it here or not, but it has this lovely little star on the nib, and it's just so cute. I really, really think it is adorable. This is my first time using this pen, so I'm really interested to see how I get on with it. I haven't used, at least that I can think of, I don't believe I've used anything from Platinum before. So this will be a whole new experience for me. But I am looking forward to it. I've swatched this Vinta ink before, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm really hoping that I get on so much better with this ink than I did with Umber. And again, it might have just been the pen. It might have been me. I'm not sure, but it was a disappointment when I struggled with it. Uh-oh, I got a little bit into Wishing Tree. But as you can see, this is a much brighter and lighter green than we have with Wishing Tree. So I didn't want all of my pen and ink combos to be kind of on the duller side, I guess, or maybe dull isn't the right word, but I don't know. I was looking for a little bit of tonal variety, I guess, is what we're going to go with here. And I'm pretty sure this is a fine nib, and we are using Vinta inks, not Lynx, inks. And this is Sailfin Green. There we go. All right, so again, we have my Platinum, and it is with Vinta Inks Sailfin Green. Now for my blue, I have recently purchased a whole bunch of samples and a few bottles from Tono and Limbs because I've been really curious about it as an ink brand. And overall, I've been very impressed. I've been very, very happy with all of the Tono and Limbs that I purchased as far as swatches go. And I've had a couple of them at this point, I think 2 of them in pens, and I've been very happy with how they've performed. So this will technically be my third. This is Bloom. And I do have it inked in this Parker. I have no idea what model this is. It just says Parker Planetary when I try to look it up. So I'm not 100%, but it is a stunning pen. It has the universe on it and different constellations. And then it has a fine nib on it as well. And again, I don't know a ton about it. I don't even know where this came from, but I am excited to be using it for the first time as well. And I know that a lot of people do like to go very matchy-matchy with their pens, and I do too sometimes. But I thought it would also be kind of fun to switch it up a little bit as far as having the ink and pen combo be a little bit more unexpected. I think that that's a really fun idea, especially in March, where you have things like St. Patrick's Day with the Magic Leprechaun, which is a big deal in my house. My kids are, oh no, are obsessed with the magic leprechaun who visits us every year and causes massive amounts of chaos in my house. So I thought that this sort of unexpected pairing would just be fun. Got a little bit of that green in there, but that's okay. Alrighty, and again, this is a Parker with a fine nib. And then this is Tono and Limbs Bloom. If you want to see a swatching of all of my Tono and Limbs inks, please let me know, because I would be more than happy to put that together, because any excuse for me to play more with these Tono and Limbs, I am down for, because they are so, so nice. But again, this is Tono and Limbs Bloom in my Parker Planetary is what we're going to call it. So to finish out my rainbow, I've actually got two purples because I love purple. And one of the pens is going to be a carryover pen. Not this one. This one is going to be one that you've seen recently. And that is this right here. This is a newer pen to my collection. I did an unboxing of it quite recently. This is from Sailor. This is the collab that they did with Plus. And this is the, I think it's pronounced the leprechaun model. Please don't come for me if I said that wrong. But it came with a very, very light purple ink, which I enjoyed, but it was really, really hard to see. Now this is in a medium fine nib, and I wanted to continue with some purple, but something that was a little bit easier to read. So I decided to ink it up with Diamine Gala. This is from the 2025 Inkvent calendar, and I thought that it would pair really, really beautifully with the pen. I know I just talked about not always being matchy-matchy with my pens and having that sort of different ink than what you see in the body, but I also love matching them together, and this is a beautiful, at least visual match as far as the ink color and the body of the pen goes. But because you've got the two tones there, a darker purple would look just as lovely with it, I think. I just wanted to go with something that was kind of reminiscent of the Yumioi. I'm sure I am saying that really, really badly. I'm so, so sorry. But I felt like this ink would be reminiscent of it, but with a lot more punch to it. Because I used this pen, but I still don't really know completely how I feel about it. And so having another month, especially with ink that I feel more confident using, I felt like was just a really good idea. So this is a medium fine nib. And this is Diamine Gala. There we go. I mean, see, it just looks really, really nice together. But, and then finally we have my last carryover for the month. Well, kind of. This this had a different ink in it at the end of February, or when I did my February currently inked rather, and I did not get on with it at all. It just, you know that. Sorry, this is the one. Did this? I think this had my Vinta inks in it. I think it had umber in it, and it wasn't working. So I decided to take that out and then re-ink it with Colorverse Milky Way. This was the 2024 Colorverse winner. Well, one of the three winners. And again, it's just a beautiful shimmery, deeper purple, which I really thought would kind of round out my rainbow theme here quite nicely. So the pen that I have for it is a Lamy Safari. This is one of the, I believe, limited edition ones, and it has an extra fine nib on it. The body color or colorway, or however you refer to it, is called Blackberry. And I didn't use this pen very much in February because I wasn't getting on with the ink as well as I would have liked. So I feel like this is kind of a do-over for me as far as this pen goes. So technically it will be the second time I'm using this pen, but hopefully with much more consistency than I did last month, since the consistency just was not there at all. But this I thought was just a beautiful kind of ending to our little rainbow that we have going on here, because it's a much more intense purple. And it does have shimmer in it because, let's face it, I am a glitter girly. And so this is my Lamy Safari. An extra fine nib. Blackberry is the body, and this has colorverse Milky Way. There we go. And then using all of the inks, I kind of wanted to put just like a rainbow using the inks. I thought that that would just be very pretty. So we'll see how well it turns out. All right, so this is quite possibly the ugliest rainbow I have ever seen in my life. But I committed to it, so yeah. All right, so we've been drying for a while now because this is obviously an unhinged mess. I think my toddlers could make a better rainbow with finger paint. But if you have seen Julia now, and when she does her currently inks at the bottom of the page, she'll make like this gradient of her different inks. And that is what I visualized this looking like, and it doesn't. Oh, but that's okay. All right, so let's talk about the inks that we are going to have into rotation this month. We have Wearingeul's The Young King. We have Diamine Grotto. We have Colorverse Follow the Water. And I really hope that the shimmer on this is picking up because it is just such a unique and interesting color. As is Diamine's Wishing Tree. I think that the color on this is just so pretty. Although now that I'm looking at it in this heavy swatch, because clearly I used way too much ink on all of these, it's giving me Fur and Fog vibes at the moment. I'm sure if I put them next to each other, I will take that back. But this is really pretty. I like it a lot. We also have Vinta Ink's Sailfin Green, which I am very much looking forward to, as well as Tono and Lim's Bloom. I know you can't really tell, especially because you got some of the Sailfin Green in here, but this ink has some really fun shading properties to it, which you're probably not going to get in a fine nib, and that's fine, but this is such a cool color. I'm really excited to be using this. Then we have our Diamine Gala, this beautiful bright purple. Finally, we also have my Lamy Safari with Colorverse Milky Way. So I am really excited to be playing with these pens over the next month, and I will hopefully have a much better experience with them than I did in February. I know I've said this a few times in the last couple of videos, but I thank every single one of you that makes it through my videos because I am so new to all of this and I'm still looking to kind of find my groove and find the thing that works for me. So I appreciate every single one of you that hang out with me, and please let me know your thoughts and opinions. I love chatting with y'all down in the comments, so please definitely say hi at the very least. I hope your March is starting out really, really well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.